Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 127 and today we have got some really big plans. As you guys know, I've recently been talking about creating a new area in my base because recently over the past couple episodes, as I'm sure you've been able to tell, I've sort of been jumping between projects, doing tons of different bits and pieces. I'm working on the cow farm, then coming up here, doing some work over here, doing the Death Star bits and pieces, and basically flitting between various projects simply because I don't have one big solid project that I'm working on at this point in time. Well, that's about to change in today's episode. We're going to start work on a totally new place inside my base. And to be honest with you, at this point in time, I don't actually know where it's going to go. I've got a few ideas as to where I want to put it. Originally, I was thinking this area, but I'm not actually 100% certain if that is going to be big enough. So maybe potentially the area over here, but it has to be in the water. I really want it to be in the water, but then that area is swamp, and I don't really fancy building in the swamp. So I guess we are going to have to do some looking around at this point in time. We're going to have to try and spy out a good location, and the more I look at this, the more it seems like a good idea. So unfortunately for today's episode, we are going to be chucking away all of the redstone, all the hoppers, the repeaters and everything, because there isn't going to be any of that in today's episode. It's been ages since I've had an episode that doesn't involve any redstone whatsoever, but this one is purely going to be about all of the buildings. Let's place this back into the shulker box storage system, and I guess we're going to have to start whipping out the pickaxes because we have got a lot of digging to do. This base is going to be under the ground. Now I do hate to say it, this build is going to involve the construction of a circle. I know I build a lot in circles, but this one is going to be, a massive circle in this sort of area right here. Now, right now, I've got a radius or diameter of 55 blocks. It's going to be 55 blocks right the way across, which, it's pretty massive. It is pretty massive. It's going to go just from the outside of this one all the way across here, probably up to that edge there, and it's going to wrap around like this. Now, I don't know if it's going to be too big. If it's too big, obviously, I won't continue building it. I'll take down the size of the circle and I'll bring it down to like 40 blocks. But for the time being, that is how big this thing is going to be. And then in theory, it's going to go all the way down to bedrock. I might be stupid. I might be really stupid. One day, I will be able to build a circle without making a mistake. You would have thought, after all these circles that I have made, I would be able to do this by now. I was literally just about to start recording a clip saying that we're pulling in, we're doing the final few now. It was going to be 1, 2, 3, then this is a 4, then this is the other 4, and something's gone really wrong this time. What on earth have I done here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This side's fine, so that means that this side or that side must have something really wrong with it. Like, seriously wrong. After a bunch of mistakes, this thing is now finished. From here, it is looking pretty cool, but I think we should try our best to get the aerial perspective, and there it is. I would say that is the perfect size. I mean, you wouldn't want it too much bigger than that, but I wouldn't want it too much smaller. That is fantastic. So we now have a 55 blocks in diameter circle in the lake right there, and that is where the new area of the base is going to be going. So that is going to be going right the way down from this point forth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to contact all of the hermits. I'm going to ask them if they have any sponge. If they don't, we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way using sand, but we're going to clear out all of the water from the center there, and then we're going to start digging. We finally had some customers. We finally had some customers in the fireworks shop, yes. I had definitely forgotten how frustrating these sponges are to use. If I were to place a sponge in, say, for example, this water right here, as you can see, it just doesn't do anything. All of the water just flows back in, and then we have a damp sponge. So we can't actually use that sponge again. We have to put it through a furnace, which means that I'm basically going to have to fill in this entire space with a giant grid. All 46 of my sponges have now been used, and so far I have done this much of the circle and a little bit over here and then a tiny bit in that section right there, but I didn't make too much progress. Now I do have a feeling that I am using these things very, very inefficiently. As you can see from this zone, I thought I'd try out a new technique, which is to basically place them really, really fast. Because you know when you place the sponge and then the water gradually closes in from the outside, I thought if I could place it and then place another one really quickly to stop that from happening, then another one really quickly to stop it all from happening, and hopefully just close off all of the water, it would work wonderfully. No, that's not the case. It ended up using about 15 sponges and it didn't really work too well. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that again. I think I'm just going to have to accept the fact that to build this, I'm going to have to do quite a lot of grids, make the grids as small as possible to maximize the sponge efficiency, and basically just get to work and do it a bit like that. Finally, my super smelter that I built absolutely ages ago has totally run out of coal, so I'm doing my biannual coal mining session. We have got about 8 or 9 stacks of coal just sat up here in the storage system. I'm going to take all of this out and throw it into the furnaces. So I was thinking just the other day, it has been ages since we have done a super fast time lapse in one of these Hermitcraft episodes. Now I think the previous record for a super fast time lapse on the Hermitcraft server was, I think it was around about 13 seconds. Now I'm fairly certain we're not going to be breaking that in today's episode, because this project is quite a lot bigger than 13 seconds worth of footage. But as you can see, I have placed in all of the sponge, we have now removed all of the water, all of that is now gone, and we've got a completely clear circle inside the lake that is currently just filled with grids and damp sponges. Not the best start. Just a couple things worth mentioning. This place is both absolutely deadly and also horrendously ugly at this point in time. I mean, look at it! It looks disgusting. We have got dirt, we've got sand all over the place, which is a horrible floor. Then we have these horrendous grids that are just in every single block that I had in my inventory. Yeah, this is not the best start to a new area to the base, but it is a start, and a start is a good thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear out this entire space, and then we're going to start work on clearing out this entire space. Everything is now gone, so I am flying up just above the drone. I'm going to do a quick spin to slow myself down, and I really don't want to look at it yet because I want to see what this thing looks like from the drone itself. Now this part is very important because of course this is where we're going to be seeing it from quite often. And that looks awesome. That is perfect. It fits in with everything else perfectly. So the style for this place is going to be very different from the rest of the base. Just like this is completely different, we're going to go for something completely different in this area here. What I was thinking is like a slightly ruined style. So much like that floor, actually, we're going to have quite a lot going on like that in the walls, but then we're going to have leaves coming down, we're going to have like wooden logs everywhere. It's going to be like a stone brick, stone slab, cobblestone, sea lanterns, spruce wood type place. And as I said, it's going to be overgrown and it's going to go very, very fast down in like a cone formation. Yeah, this should end up looking really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the first few layers right here. We're going to have to move over the Haste 2 beacon, and we'll see how it looks once we have ourselves a decent sized hole. We now have Haste 2 and we are making progress with the shovel at this point in time, but a rather worrying thing that I have just realised is that I want there to be 3 layers to this. There's going to be 3 different layers to this little mini base here. Each layer is going to be spaced out by 20 blocks. Which means to get to the first layer, I have got to mine out a 20 by 55 by 55 sphere all the way down. Could somebody work out how many blocks that's going to be? I have a feeling that is going to be an enormous number. What have I got myself into? First mending session of the mining session, because my shovel has just been completely destroyed by all of the dirt and the sand that's down at the bottom of the lake. And in terms of progress, yeah, we're doing okay. I mean, I would say the progress is a tiny bit on the slow side. We're probably around about 5 layers down in total, and we still have about 15 to go of the first layer, which is, yeah, that's pretty long-winded, but it's looking awesome. It is looking absolutely awesome, and I just know that this base is going to end up looking amazing. Now that is not what I was expecting to see this high up. a lava lake. I need to be a lot more careful then, because I've just been flying about. The last thing that I want to do is drop into lava with my elytra, all my diamond gear, and 3 shulker boxes on me filled with resources. Yeah, let's be careful of that one. So it has been about 1 hour since the previous clip. My pickaxe is just on the way out right now. I've repaired it once, and now I'm going to have to repair it once again. But this is where we currently stand in terms of the size of this thing. Now, as you can probably see, this is a big zone. This is huge. So we have got a huge area right here, and we've managed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. So far we have done 9 blocks, and I've actually done some maths. It turns out the layers aren't going to be 20 blocks apart because I forgot about the bedrock layers down at the bottom. We wouldn't be able to build in those. Instead, they're going to be 15 blocks apart, which is brilliant. It means we've only got 6 blocks left to mine until we can start work on the first layer here, which is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But this place is huge, it's enormous, it looks amazing. I'm chuffed to bits with it so far. I am going to continue working on it very shortly, but now I'm actually going to be heading off to view a house. I'm looking for a replacement studio, so I am going to head over to my AFK zone, and we're going to do a real quick 1.5 hour AFK session. And I am back from viewing the house. Now, it has been approximately an hour since the previous clip, and the house is awesome. Now, once again, I would be using this thing as a studio, potentially, depending on a few things, but at the minute, it would be used as a studio, and it is perfect. It is absolutely perfect, as far as I can tell. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not bigger than my current house. It's just a lot more airy, a lot more modern. It's perfect for what I need. So I am going to be making a few inquiries on that department and seeing if it is possible for me to get that one, because it is absolutely lovely. But anyway, aside from all of that, the AFK session has finished, and we have managed to get ourselves around about 5 stacks of gunpowder. That is good. So we have got 5 stacks of gunpowder on this side, and an extra 5 stacks of gunpowder on that side as well. Fantastic. 10 stacks of gunpowder in 1 hour. I cannot complain on that one. But anyway, we have got a rather large hole in our lake right here, which needs to be a tiny bit bigger. We have got a whole bunch of work still left to do on this thing, so I am going to continue mining, and then hopefully we can start work on the first layer in today's episode. I thought it would be a good idea, before we go any further, to fill in the entire space with the stone brick walls. So we have got a massive stone brick wall making its way right the way around the outside, and I know it looks horrendously boring at this point in time, but as I've mentioned a couple times now, we are actually going to be destroying this, and I'm saying that in inverted commas because we're going to be adding in all of the gravel, all of the smooth stone, the cobblestone, and things like that, basically to break up this texture and make it look a tiny bit ruined. Yeah, I think that will look cool. I really do hope that will look cool, because this is a massive, massive wall, and I would be really upset if it ended up being horrendously ugly. Finally, all of the ugly blocks have been replaced with the stone bricks. Now everything is looking very nice and smooth, which is good, if not a tiny bit prison-like, to be quite frankly honest with you. But as I've mentioned many times now, we still have 6 blocks left to go down now before we reach the first layer. Now, I should probably mention that the way that the layers are going to work, it's not going to be like a solid floor layer. It's going to be a layer that juts out maybe 10 blocks, and then we'll have another circle on the inside here that goes down another 15 blocks, then we'll have another circle on the inside of that one, then 15 blocks, and that's when we're going to hit the floor. So that should hopefully cover up all of your questions. Let's start digging once again. For some reason, I can't walk anymore on Hermitcraft. Also, this place looks really cool. I think Wells9 built this. It looks lovely, yeah, this is going to get a little bit frustrating. This should be the final mining update. I have got 3 more layers left to go. I've done all of the stone bricks right the way down to the bottom. So as I say, 3 more layers until we reach the location of the first layer. And you know what? I think I might do this last one in the form of a 3rd-person time-lapse, because finally, I'm actually getting quite fast at doing this. So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you guys about these Hermitcraft episodes that you are watching right now, because I want to ask you certain things that you like and dislike about the episodes. Now, this sort of thing is also incredibly important to me because, of course, I make these Hermitcraft episodes for you guys to enjoy, and if you guys aren't enjoying them, then that's not particularly brilliant. I'm not really doing my job particularly very well. So question number 1 is, do you like big projects? For example, like this one right here. This is an enormous project. I mean, so far today, I've been working on this for the past 7.5 hours. Okay, so big projects like this one. Do you like to see this sort of thing, or do you like to see collaboration episodes? So recently I did some work with Impulse SV. It was really great fun trying to get a villager from his base into my base using like a villager request system. That was awesome, and obviously all of the stuff that we've been doing in the Death Star lately as well, all of that stuff has been really great fun. Or alternatively, and this is a very good option, would you like to see a mix? So occasionally I do projects like this and occasionally do collaborations. I think that's what I'm going to be trying to aim for going forward. Sometimes I sort of get stuck in working on my own projects and almost forget that I'm playing on a multiplayer server. So I'd say if there's one thing that I tend to not do, it's collaboration stuff, and that's something that I've been really trying hard to do more of recently, and I've been having a ton of fun. And yes, I have seen your comments. I am going to be working on Vintage Beef's order very soon. I just want to sort out how we're going to be doing all of the episodes and everything like that, so do not worry, that will be coming. I haven't forgotten it. But also, the next thing that I want to ask is, do you like progress updates or do you like time lapses? Now once again, I do sort of aim for a bit of a mix, but generally speaking, I tend to favour progress updates. However, there's probably some of you out there who really like the time lapses, especially these time lapse chats. So once again, your feedback would be incredibly useful on this one. So the question is, what sorts of episodes do you like? Do you like big projects? Do you like chatty episodes? Do you like collaboration episodes? And the other question is, do you like progress updates or do you like time lapses? There we go. Answer down in the comment section. Would love to hear your feedback. Let's hop back onto the server and take a look at what we've created. And this thing is now done. As you can see, here it is. The first 15 layers have been taken out, and I have to say, taking a look at it from out here, it doesn't actually look that big. It doesn't look like all of the work has been put into it. But yeah, this has been a pretty huge project so far. We're not quite done with today's episode just yet, but one thing that I will just say is that during that time lapse, there is one small death. There was a very small death, and that was my pickaxe. We no longer have Silk Touch pickaxes anymore. I've used up all 3 of them. I keep forgetting to look at the little health bar down at the bottom there, and I keep destroying them, which did actually save us some time during that time lapse, because it meant that we didn't have to go to the end and do any mending. We just popped back up to the base, picked up a new pickaxe, and popped back down. But it's a bit of a shame, because that means that now we don't have any way of getting large quantities of stone without just smelting tons up, which would take absolutely ages. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head off to my base, and we're going to start work on getting ourselves a whole new set of tools. So first things first, we're going to need a bunch of enchanted books. So this one is mending. Let's throw in those, and there we go. So we've got 3 mending books for the 3 different pickaxes. Then we need efficiency 4. So efficiency 4 should be somewhere over here, right? Good stuff. 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Did we only get 2 then? Please don't lock out your trade. I hate you. I must admit, I did temporarily forget about all of my AFK fish farm drops. So, yeah, it's not so bad. Now all I need is Silk Touch, and I'm breaking 3. And we should be good to go. I've come all the way here, and I only brought 3 diamonds with me. For some reason, I thought that would make 3 diamond pickaxes. It's just been a long day. And now that I've come back with all of my pickaxes and everything like that, I do 2 enchantments and the anvil breaks. Just, what is my luck? I have the worst luck of any human on the planet. Now I have to say, it does sort of feel like the server is struggling at this point in time, because there's quite a few people online. We've got both Tango and Impulse and me online, which basically means that all of the redstone contraptions on the server are loaded, and Iskall as well, who apparently is working on something absolutely insane. So yeah, things are struggling just a little bit, but the enchanting session is now done. I managed to get myself 3 Silk Touch efficiency 4. Efficiency 4. Efficiency 4. Oh, well, I'm just going to put that down as the most catastrophic failure of an enchanting session ever. I'm not even going to fix it. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow because right now I just want to go AFK overnight. Now, as I say, the server is struggling just a tiny bit, so I don't have the highest hopes in the world that this thing is going to go particularly well. I imagine I'm going to get kicked really quite quickly on this one, but for the time being, I want to see how many item drops I can manage to get overnight, so I'll catch you all in around about 12 to 14 hours. So, we have just got back onto the server. We have been fully AFK overnight, so let's take a look at what sort of drops we have managed to get in that time. And that didn't look so promising to start things off. What? 2 and a bit stacks overnight. That seems a little bit low, I'll be honest with you. Right, let's check out this side. That's a little bit better. I mean, are these things still working? I don't see any reason as to... I've never had one of these break before. Oh. By the look of things, there is a chance that during our little AFK session today, we might have been causing some issues on the server, so somebody's come past and switched off the mob spawner. Yeah, yeah, it looks like that's the case. So basically, I think that my mob spawner and basically me AFKing over at my base has caused potentially some lag on the server, and that means that they have switched off the mob spawner during the AFK session, which is totally fine. I don't want to ruin the playing experience for any of the other hermits, but it does mean that we still don't have very much gunpowder. Despite all my best efforts, we still have next to no gunpowder, which is a bit of a shame. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.